A gunshot to the chest. Blood on the white iron of the North. For 2 years, we thought we saw the end of the Dark Defender, but as the heartbeat on your screen proves, Dexter Morgan is stable. Welcome back to Hidden Details TV. Today, we aren't just speculating. We are diving into the medical evidence, the season for parallels, and the hidden details in the Dexter resurrection announcement that prove Dexter didn't just survive, he planned for this. If you want to know how the most prolific survivor in TV history cheated death again, don't move, let's look at the kill shot. Harrison is a hunter, but he's not a doctor. In the final moments of New Blood, the bullet hits the upper left quadrant. For a normal person, fatal. For Dexter, he's spent 20 years studying human anatomy. He knows exactly how to tense his muscles and shift his weight to avoid a direct hit to the heart. Look at this clip from season 1. He knows the body better than the police do. In the freezing cold, the body enters a state of induced hypothermia. It slows the heart rate at BPM of 72 we see in the teaser and actually prevents him from bleeding out before help arrives. But why now? To understand resurrection, we have to go back to the beginning. Remember James Dokes? He was the only one who saw the monster clearly. Dexter has been running from the truth since 2006. But the code of Harry wasn't just about killing, it was about survival at any cost. In these early seasons, Harry taught Dexter that the world is a crime scene. By dying in Iron Lake, Dexter has done the one thing he couldn't do in Miami. He has officially erased his past. To the world, the Bay Harbor Butcher is dead. To the world, Jim Lindsay is dead. He is a ghost now. And as we know, ghosts are the hardest things to catch. This brings us to the ultimate showdown. With Joe Goldberg roaming the streets in his own series, the world of gentleman stalkers is crowded. But Dexter is the apex predator. Resurrection isn't just a new season, it's a hunt. Speculation is high that Dexter will be in a high-security prison ward or working under a new identity for the feds. But look at his face in the snow one more time. That isn't the face of a man who lost. That is the face of a man who just successfully completed his most difficult reset yet. But we can't talk about it. Resurrection without talking about the man holding the handcuffs, Angel Batista. For years, Angel was the heart of Miami Metro. The one man who truly loved Dexter as a brother. When he saw that photo of Dexter alive in Iron Lake, the look on his face wasn't just shock. It was a betrayal that had been simmering for a decade. In Resurrection, the conflict isn't just Dexter versus the law. It's Dexter versus his past. Imagine the tension of an interrogation room where Batista finally gets to ask the questions he should have asked in season 7. We need to consider if Batista becomes the new Hank Schrader of this universe. Is he the hero we're rooting for, or is he just another obstacle for Dexter to remove? If Dexter is stable, as our thumbnail suggests, then Batista is the only one who can destabilize him. This cat-and-mouse game alone could fill the first 4 episodes of the new series. And the psychological weight of that confrontation is what the fans have been starving for since 2013. Let's look at the legal reality. If Dexter is alive, he is the most famous serial killer in world history. He is bigger than Bundy, bigger than Dahmer. This wouldn't be a quiet trial. This would be a global media circus. Think about the dark passenger in the age of social media. In the original series, Dexter operated in the shadows of the early 2000s. Now, there would be TikToks, documentaries, and fan clubs dedicated to the Bay Harbor Butcher. This creates a fascinating new dynamic for Resurrection. Does Dexter lean into the fame? Does he use the public's divided opinion, those who think he's a hero for killing monsters, to manipulate his way out of a death sentence? We might see a season that feels less like a slasher and more like a high-stakes legal thriller, where Dexter Morgan has to play the ultimate role of the innocent victim one last time. And then there's the boy who pulled the trigger, Harrison Morgan. By leaving Dexter for dead, Harrison thought he was killing his own inner demon. But if he finds out his father survived, that trauma doesn't go away, it doubles. The most tragic theory for Resurrection is that Dexter eventually has to hunt his own son, not to kill him, but to save him from the code. Or perhaps, the show becomes a dual narrative. We see Dexter in a medical prison in New York, while we see Harrison struggling with his urges in another city. The bloodline is the strongest theme in this franchise. You can't have a resurrection of the father without a transformation of the son. Are we looking at a passing of the torch? Or is the show going to prove that there is only room for one alpha predator in the Morgan family? If Dexter survives, what happens to his conscience? In New Blood, Jennifer Carpenter's return as Deborah wasn't just a cameo, she was the manifestation of Dexter's guilt. A screaming, drowning reminder of his failures. But in Resurrection, if Dexter is in a prison or a lab, does Deborah change again? Think about the psychological toll of being the living dead. Dexter has lost everyone, Rita, Deb, and now, in his mind, he has lost Harrison. This version of Dexter won't be the charming blood spatter analyst from Miami. He will be a man with nothing left to lose. We might see a darker, more cynical version of Deborah, appearing to him, perhaps one that doesn't try to stop him from killing, but one that encourages him to embrace his nature fully, because the world already thinks you're a monster. So why fight it? This internal dialogue is how the showrunners can keep the 12th season history alive while putting Dexter in a brand new environment. Location is a character in this show. Miami was neon and sweat. Iron Lake was white and frozen. For Resurrection, the rumors are swirling about a move to a major metropolitan area. Why? Because Dexter needs a crowd to hide in. If he is working for the feds or escape custody, he needs a city with a high crime rate to justify his work. Imagine Dexter Morgan in a city like Chicago, or even a return to a postmodern Miami. The contrast of his aging, scarred face against a fast-paced, high-tech city would be a visual masterpiece. We're talking about a man who used to use physical slides and a boat, now having to navigate a world of facial recognition software and ring cameras. How does the old-school killer survive in the new-school world of surveillance? That is the tension that will drive the 12-minute deep dives of the future, and it's why Resurrection feels like a necessary evolution of the character. Finally, let's talk about the endgame. Michael C. Hall has been playing this character for nearly 2 decades. He knows that Dexter Morgan cannot live forever. Is Resurrection a one-season event meant to give us the trial of the century? Or are we looking at a multi-year plan? My theory: Dexter is being brought back to be the Hannibal to a new Clarice. Whether that's a grown-up Harrison or a new detective who discovers his secret, Dexter's final act won't be a death in the snow. It will be a sacrifice. He will choose to save someone, likely Harrison, by finally stepping into the light and accepting his fate. This would bring the code of Harry full circle. Not just don't get caught, but be the sacrifice so the ones you love can live. It's a heavy theory, but in a show titled Resurrection, the only way to find peace is to finally, truly, let the old Dexter die. We've covered the anatomy, the legal fallout, the return of Batista, and the psychological shift of his dark passenger. This Sunday, when you see the "He's Back" thumbnail on your feed, you know exactly what's at stake. If Dexter is back, he isn't just running from a small-town sheriff like Angel anymore. He is on the radar of the FBI's elite. But who is the big bad of Resurrection? Every great season of Dexter is defined by its villain, the ice truck killer. Trinity, the doomsday killer. In a world obsessed with true crime, the new antagonist might not be a killer at all. It could be a high-profile digital investigator or a citizen detective who has spent the last decade obsessing over the Day Harbor Butcher case. Imagine a character who uses AI and data mining to track Dexter's movements in real time. This forces Dexter to evolve. He can't just steal a car and disappear anymore. He has to fight a war against algorithms. This old world versus new world conflict is a goldmine for storytelling. It allows the show to comment on our own obsession with serial killers while keeping the stakes higher than they've ever been. Is Dexter the hunter, or has he finally become the prey in a digital cage? Let's look at the fingerprint on our thumbnail. Forensics has moved light years beyond what Dexter used in 2006. We now have touch DNA, advanced ballistics, and rapid genealogy testing. If Dexter is stable and back in it lab, as some theories suggest, he There is a fascinating theory that Dexter might actually be forced to work for the government as a forensic consultant. Similar to a Suicide Squad scenario. They know who he is, they know what he's done. But his expertise is too valuable to waste. This would put him in the ultimate Code of Harry dilemma, killing for the greater good, under the supervision of the very people meant to catch him. Every drop of blood he analyzes would be a reminder of his own secrets. This creates a constant, ticking clock tension that could easily carry the series for years. And it provides the perfect excuse for why a known serial killer isn't immediately sent to the electric chair. Ultimately, Resurrection has to answer one question. Can the dark passenger ever truly be silenced? We saw Dexter try to suppress it for 10 years in the woods of Oregon, and we saw how violently it exploded back to life. This new series isn't just a do-over for the finale. It's a deep dive into the philosophy of the character. Is Dexter Morgan a hero who kills monsters? Or is he a monster who tells himself he's a hero? By bringing him back from the dead, the writers are giving us one last chance to decide. As he lies there in the snow, that heartbeat we see, that BPM of 72, isn't just a sign of life. It's a countdown. Every beat is a second closer to his final judgment. Whether he ends up in a prison cell, on a gurney, or back on a boat in the moonlight, the resurrection of Dexter Morgan is the most anticipated event in horror drama history. Has to learn these new tools to stay ahead. We cannot ignore the elephant in the room, Angel Batista. For years, a term of brotherhood, Angel was the heart of Miami Metro, the man who called Dexter socio. When he opened that file in Iron Lake, he wasn't just looking at a cold case. He was looking at the man who stood at his wedding, the man he defended against Dokes, and the man he mourned for 10 years. In Resurrection, the confrontation between these two will be the emotional core of the season. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 10,000 subs. And I'll be covering every single Resurrection leak as it happens.